Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are doing weekly check-in and monthly review. I am going to merge it into one because I feel like if I separate two videos, it will be really quick, which I always tend to always say it's gonna be quick, but sometimes it doesn't. It's not really gonna take that long. But anyways, I don't know if you noticed from my voice that I am currently sick. That's why it took me a while to make this video, and I might actually pause whenever I have a call because I'm actually working while I'm doing this. So I already have done the weekly check-in. So this was the expenses we've made for the past 4 weeks. That was August 1 to 8th. We spent $30,489. August 9 to 15, we spent $14,729.71. August 15 to 22, we spent $10,413.62. And the last week was August 23 to 31, we spent $40,784.11. So that comes out to a total of $96,416.44. This doesn't include my mama's share from my income, because she does get $10,000 a month for her personal expenses like medicines and stuff, and also the other two debts that I currently have, which all the money for payment is already at the bank, and it's not taking out, or it's not the money that I'm paying for each month didn't come from my paycheck for August. So that's why I didn't include these, because these are already in the bank, and I saved that through time to get that fully funded so I can consider myself debt free that was June. And yeah, so I paid $4,480 for the credit to cash debt, and I also paid $1,700 for the dollhouse, which I both swiped my credit card with. So yeah, it is actually not, if you add all these together, it will be around 112 or 114,000 for the whole thing, which is really crazy because I also realized August has 5 weeks, so that's why it went above 100,000. But my goal is to have all expenses and bills under 80,000 or maybe under 90,000, because if I calculate all the bills, that would be sitting around 25 to 29,000, knowing that I have life insurance at 10,000 already. And then the expenses, I have 10,000 for my helper or nanny, 10,000 for my mom, 5,540 for the tuition. So that's already 25,000 something just for those three, and without the food, because the food is sitting around 10,000 to 15,000 a month. I feel which is really good, because the previous months or years back, my food expenses is always more than 30,000, because no one's cooking. No, we don't have a nanny, we don't have a helper that can cook or go to the market and buy stuff for cooking. So we always end up ordering from GrabFood, which is really expensive. Yeah, but I'm really happy with the food expense that we had for this month, which I will definitely share later when we do the monthly overview. But for this week, for the previous week, that was August 23rd to 29th, these are the expenses I had. So that's for my mom, 10,000. So she actually took her money, because her money in my binder was 72,800. But she took it all. But I only have jotted down 10,000 for this month, because knowing that the 10,000 came from this month's paycheck. So I don't want to include, the 72,800, because those were accumulation for the previous month since January paycheck. So to be realistic with my, how much really I'm spending per month, so I wanted to make sure all the expenses came from this paycheck only. So that's why, including the 2 debts that I've mentioned, these are like money already saved that I've saved since January. It did really came from my paycheck for this August, so that's not included, but I still, jotted them down. This BPI credit card though was the amount that I swiped my credit card for the previous month. That was July. And then the one of the things I realized using this app, which is budget app, I've realized that I'm actually stuffing money in my binders at the same time I'm swiping my credit card. So it does have like, double charge for the whole thing, for my food expense, household, health, hygiene, like the whole thing. So whenever there is like a due date for my BPI credit card, it would always go above 20,000 to 30,000. And then all my cash in my binders are like spent as well. So yeah, when I tallied all the food expense, household, like the whole thing, it would be around 20 to 30,000. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to change that next month because I've just realized that this month. And then my electric bill, good thing that it was only 5,000, because usually the electric bill is sitting around 6,000 or something, so which is good. And then the helper, 10,000, and then the health, we bought a lot of meds because it was my mom who always goes out and about, in and out from the house. I don't usually go out. I just go out every paycheck to withdraw the money. That's it. And and my mom actually was the one who got sick and then passed it on to our helper and then to me now. So I'm isolating myself the past 2 days so it wouldn't spread throughout the household. And then hygiene as well, 2,000 was the money I spent to buy all the things that we need, which actually I forgot to buy the mouthwash, but everything for the shampoo or conditioner is already done. And some subscriptions was charged to me August 26th, YouTube Premium $4.89. There's this Mario Kart, I don't know, game that my daughter was so addicted to, and the subscription was $395. So yeah, there's that. And then transportation when I went out, $247. And then the other food like Panda Manila, $158, and then the grocery, $1,485.11. So and these are like the summary of the whole thing, which came out to $40,784. So this is like my bank money. So the bank, I have 71,007 pesos and 24 cents, which are the accumulation for all these 3 categories. In my savings, I deposited 40,600, and then the credit to cash, that's left to the bank. So I have 3 paychecks left. So for the credit to cash, that's September, October, November. And then the dollhouse as well, September to June, because this is like 10 months to go. So that's why it's 70,439. So there's like extra 500-ish for this one. That's okay. And then the credit to, the BPI credit card, this is not updated. So we're going to focus on this one because today is August. This was yesterday when I made this. But today I'm filming September 1st. So I updated this last night. And my current debt for a credit card, which will be due on September 20-ish, is around 453.15. I know it is like beyond the limit that I have because not only I was billed by the 2 debts that I have, which are the credit to cash again, and the money is already in the bank, right? In bank number 1, so that's not a problem. I don't have to like budget or include that in my budget for this September's income. Same with the dollhouse, 1,700 is also at the bank. So that's good to go. And in my BPI binder, I have saved 7,200 for the previous paychecks. So that's all good to go. And actually, hi guys, sorry, I had a call. So I had to pause so I can accommodate the call. But anyways, as I was saying, this went up to 30,000 because of the two accommodations I swiped my credit card. That was for next week. Today is September 1st. I'm filming this. And next week will be my daughter's birthday already, which is, to be specific, it's September 8th. She's turning 6. I'm so excited for her. I actually booked a Jollibee party on Sunday because all my cousins will be available on a weekend only. They're having like school and stuff if it's weekdays, so we can only do Saturday or Sunday. So Saturday we'll actually check in ourselves to a really nice place so we can bond as a family. And on Sunday we will just have a Jollibee birthday party for 2 hours, and then for the week of September 8th to 13th we'll go to a resort, which is really nice. And I paid for 19,074.21, which I will have to pay on its due date this coming September 20-ish. I have no clue what's the exact date, but once the statement is posted, which will be this coming 5th, because my monthly statement is always 5th of every month. Yeah, 5th of every month, so that's why. And then the September 13th to 14th, this is like a one-night stay as well. So overall, it's like around 20,000 something. So I have deducted the 30,000 from the money that I have in the binder and the two debts, and then it came out to 17,073.15 that I need to stuff money with, so I can pay that off on September's due date for the credit card. So I've decided, because there's like 4 weeks for September, and usually my due date for the credit card is beyond 20-ish of every month. So September, because I'm paid every Friday, so I can stuff money for September 5, 12, and 19, but not at 26, because I feel like that's already like delayed. So I could only stuff by 3 paychecks, and I divided this by 3, so that means to say I'll be stuffing 5,700 every paycheck. So that's already noted down, and that's why I did this budget with me like early, so I can put that in here, so it's already in here. And then I would always like do 1-3, so I would know this is the second one or third one or the first one. So yeah. And then other stuff as well, I've made a lot of orders in TikTok. Oh my gosh, I was really into the backpacks that most of the sellers or content creators sell in TikTok, so I bought tons. And there's also a shopping order I've made for some skincare stuff. And then the travel, this is like for my daughter's birthday, because like I said, this one that I swiped my credit card for 19,000, this is just the accommodation. Sorry for cutting in and out again, guys. So this is just the accommodation that I swiped, but I wanted to have like the money as well to spend for food, whatever. So I feel like for 5 nights stay, for 5 nights stay, 10,000 at least is like good enough for all of us. There's 4 adults and 1 kid. So that's why I will divide it by 3 paychecks, because I will use my savings for that though. Hi guys, I got cut off again. So anyways, this is just, I will use my savings to pay whatever needs to be paid for our food for that week, for next week. But I wanted to pay myself back. That's why we are stuffing for 3 paychecks for this one. And that is it for the weekly review or check-in. And for the monthly review, I will definitely post like some screenshots from the budget app in the screen so you guys can see. So for the monthly overview, guys, this is like the calendar that I have, which you can see how much I spent per day. So every Friday is my paycheck. You can see all the income that I received for those weeks, 5 weeks of August. This is like a summary for all the income as well. So the first was August 1st. I received 63,450. And then the second week, August 8th, I received 60,850. The third week was August 15th, I received 16,400. The fourth week, August 22nd, I received 60,500. And the last week, I have received 79,000. So that would accumulate or total up to 324,200. Now, the expenses I have for the entire month was around 114 and 793 and 92 pesos. That means to say I was able to save 209,406 for the previous month. And then you can see all the, let me just show you the next slide I have. So each of the categories I have, like you can see the water, I paid only 247.97, but my budget was 500, so I do have extra cash for that, which I put it in the 2 months ahead for the bills. And then the internet is fixed at 1,550, so that was paid last August 7th. Rent as well is fixed at 8,000, which was paid August 15. And the electric bill, which I budgeted 8,000, I only paid 4,995, but I just rounded it off to 5,000. I do have extra of like 3,000, which I put it into my 2 months ahead for the bills. Life insurance is fixed at 10,000, so that was paid on the 1st of August. My daughter's expenses, like diapers, wipes, creams, like everything that she needs, vitamins, whatever, I spent 7,243. But my budget is 2,000 per week. That means it's 8,000 a month. So we're actually within the budget. Tutor, I didn't pay for the tutor yet. I have no clue because my tutor actually was on leave for a week and a half. I mean. So I feel like this coming couple of weeks, for the first week of September, I will pay it off. But that's why there's no payment for August. Because it was supposed to be August 23rd, but then like I said, she went on leave a week and a half, so that's why it kind of like moved a week like later. And then my helper or yaya or nanny, I gave her salary last 23rd as well of August. That was 10,000 fixed. And then our food for the whole entire month was only 14,880 and 51, which is really good because, you know, honestly, the past couple of months, it's always like sitting 20 to 30,000 for our food expenses. So I'm really happy with that. But I wanted to like lower it down a little bit to like 10,000 a month if I can. So yeah, but still there's a progress. And then the transportation, I spent only 1,909 pesos, not dollars, sorry, 1,909 pesos, which I budgeted 500 per week. I can't talk. 500 per week. So this is still within the budget, which is awesome. And then the household, I spent only 4,820.73 for the whole entire month. My budget is 2,000 per week, so that's 8,000 a month. So this is still within the budget. And then hygiene, I only spent 2,000 for the whole month. And my budget is also 8,000 a month. So that's really good. And then the next slide will be the healthcare, like the meds and whatever. So I only spent 2,000. My budget is 8,000 a month. And then the personal stuff, like whatever we need, like for the hair, nail, dental, clothes and shoes, beauty, whatever. I spent 5,171.71, which is really good. I don't know how much my budget will be for this, but I'll have to think it through how many appointments I have per week or so, or for the whole month. So I'll have to figure that out soon. Unexpected expense are just those days that we lost power and we had to check ourselves in so I can work. So that was 1,304 pesos. And then subscription, I paid 4,967, which is really expensive. I want to lower it down, so I might actually go through all the subscriptions I have and which one I'm not using anymore to cancel those, because I'm pretty much sure I do have some. Like Spotify, I don't use Spotify because I'm just at home, so I don't know why I paid that. But anyways, BPI credit card, this was for the last month's expenses, which I swiped my credit card for any Grab food or grocery, whatever. So it's an accumulation for those months. That was 18,110. So yeah, that's one of the things that I've learned and I've discovered myself the past couple of weeks, that I was doing credit card and cash at the same time. So I'm doubling the amount for all the expenses, which I will definitely not do this again. And then the debts was 6,180. This is not coming from this paycheck because, like I said, the money that I need to pay off for my 2 debts is already at the bank. So it's not counted. I didn't count this though, but it's still in there just for transparency because I paid this month. And then travel, we didn't do any much for travel. Holidays as well. Birthdays, 1,410. This was the birthday cake for my daughter that I've ordered, which was a down payment, and there's a remaining balance. I need to pay 1,410 for next Saturday, I think, that I will have to settle and pay. And then lastly will be my mom's personal share, 10,000. So that's fixed every month. So that will be the whole thing for the expenses, individual. And then the income, you can see 324 and 200 was the total amount for my money. And my net worth, you can see how much I have cash in my binders. There was a total of 385 and 643. And then my daughter's passbook, which is always at 40,000. I wanted to transfer all her savings to there, but that will be soon. And then the BPI savings that has 71,757. This is like the total accumulation for 3 categories, which was my daughter's savings and my credit to cash debt and the dollhouse debt. So yeah, and then the BPI MasterCard I have swiped, and that is pretty much it. Other stuff I will show you though is the list of categories that I have, which one is the most highest that I paid, and the number top on the list is the BPI credit card, and the second one to that would be the food, and the other stuff will be like the 10,000 fixed for the helper, mama, and life insurance, the rent, and everything else. So those are like non-negotiables that I have that I need to pay every month. And then the you can see there's trends as well that I can show you, which is you can get this from the budget app. It will show the expense that you have versus the income, and the categories that will show which category is getting a huge amount for the expenses. And then the expense and income overview, like the cash and binders and the savings are like way more compared to the expense, which is really great. And the asset and liabilities overview, which will compare the debts and the assets I have for the BPI credit card. So that is pretty much it. If you notice, let's go back to the calendar that I have for this month. If you notice, the day that I have most expense would be the 23rd of August, because this is when all the debts or the all the debts and the electric bill will be posted, and the salary for my helper, for my tutor, and everything else will have to be paid. So that's why, because if you add 10,000 for my helper, 5,540 for the tutor, and then the BPI credit card, which will be around 10,000, 20,000, whatever. So that's why it's always like beyond 20 to 30K for that on that day only. But the second week or third week is like the least expense I have, because there are like weeks that I don't have any bills to pay. But yeah, I think the reason why it's always like would go beyond the limit, it's because of my cravings as well, because there are days that I would crave for Jollibee or whatever, so that would make it a little more expensive. But this is gonna be the old this is like my transparency for all the expenses I have occurred for this month of August. Like I said, one of my learnings is to make sure I track down all the transactions I've made for my credit card and how much money I have left in my binders, so I can not do I would avoid the doubling up the expenses. That's one of the things that I've learned, and also to make sure to be consistent with tracking the expenses as well. So yeah, that will be all for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.